So we are just a couple of days away from Tesla's supposed Robotaxi launch on June 12th. It's worth reminding that Tesla didn't say that date. It was just a rumor, but still, people think that the 12th is going to be the Tesla Robotaxi day. And I was just on the verge of coming on here and saying, where are all these Robotaxis? It's June. Tesla said they're going to have them. We haven't seen a single one. Austin is a public place with lots of people all over. You think somebody would be able to capture a video. Well, finally, video has been released. There it is, the Tesla Robotaxi live out in the wild. We can see it with our own eyes, and it is so exciting. There's a few things to note off of this initial look that we got from @Terrapin. Thank you so much on X. Thank you for looking out for that and posting it for us. So a few things that we can notice from the video that we want to talk about here is number one, it has a nice Robotaxi logo right on the side there. So you can see that it is a Tesla Robotaxi. On top of that, maybe more importantly, of course, there's no driver in the driver's seat. So that's it. This is out in public. This is driving. It actually stops for some pedestrians, waits for them to cross the street very appropriately, very nice and slow, and then proceeds after the road is clear. Right behind it in that same video, you can see another white Model Y following it. Now we have no evidence of exactly what's going on there, but number one, that Robotaxi logo is not on the side. So my guess is that these are probably employees that are following that driverless Tesla Robotaxi out in the wild. I can't believe it. It's finally happening. I can't believe we're finally here. There is a driverless Tesla Robotaxi out in public. Now we don't know if there's people in it or what's going on, but the point is there is a 2026 Tesla Model Y that anyone, you or I, could go buy and pick up. It's out there on the streets, driving around in public with nobody in the driver's seat. Finally, this is such an exciting time. Now, I did go find where this picture was taken, so check this out. We have this here. This is the area in Austin, right in the middle here. You can see that it was taken. Here's the Texas Capitol, and some other points of reference for you if you're familiar with the area. Now, what's funny is I tried to find this in the video. If you look, it has this street sign here, the Circle in James. I'm like, oh, well, that's easy. We just type the Circle in James and it'll come up. I actually couldn't find it. It wouldn't pop up for me. So I put this picture that you're looking at right here, this little picture, into chat-gpt, and I said, where is this? And 2 seconds later, it gave me the exact coordinates. So that's kind of creepy, but also very cool. So let's zoom in here and we can see exactly what was going on with this drive. So the Tesla was driving right here. This Tesla Robotaxi was driving in this direction and made a left turn onto this street. We had all the pedestrians waiting here. Here's that red ball you can see in the picture there. But it made a left turn into this pretty thin alleyway, actually, and it's going off in this direction. So, of course, we don't know where it's going or where it stopped or if there were passengers in it or anything else. But this is more residential-looking area. It's not really the deep city or anything, but, I don't think that matters too much. It's just an observation. But what's interesting, of course, is there were... Oh, I lost it. Where did it go? There were a ton of pedestrians right here at this corner where it made this left turn. We saw it waited for those pedestrians, did a great job. So obviously it's a public area. It's very busy and it's not controlled. Tesla is not controlling this environment that we're seeing this in. Oh, look, there's a Tesla destination charger right here. How interesting. I wonder if that's a coincidence or not. So it turned and went this way. But as you can see, lots of houses around here, some restaurants and stuff. So we're not, off like over here in the deep city, but obviously it's part of Austin. And this is showing that somebody could potentially have this Tesla Robotaxi drive over to their house. There's people live there, drive to their house, pick them up, and then they could, drive into the city or whatever and pay a couple of bucks to have that Tesla Robotaxi take them wherever they're going. But yeah, so obviously you can see it's pretty close to the city of Austin. Now we have questions. We still have questions on exactly what's going on here. So we don't know what software it's running, and we don't know exactly where it's going to go, but being that this was, oh, I zoomed out way too far here. Being that this was a decent, let me switch you one more time here, a decent distance away, from this downtown area. I would assume it's definitely going to go from here to here. Here is Giga Texas. So in relation, over here on the left is where my point was, where the Robotaxi was. And this is Tesla Giga Texas. So we are 13 miles away. So you can assume that, sorry, let me get a good grip here on what we're looking at. You can assume that we can go from the factory all the way over to here. And maybe in the other direction, this looks pretty rural, so I'm not sure there's much over there they would want to go to anyway. But if they're going to include the downtown, you definitely can go from here over to here. We're taking an expressway, at least is Google's preferred way. I don't actually see another... Yeah, there's really no back roads that Google is suggesting you take to get there. So it can take the expressway over to the factory. We know that it's driverless around the factory already. And then you should be able to, again, go into Austin here in the downtown area. So sponsored by Taco Bell and Wendy's right here as we drive by. This is looking like a pretty good area that's going to be able to be covered by the Robotaxi. And then I would assume, you're going to get all of this here because we were so close. It was coming from, this south direction here. Oh my goodness, Google with the pop-ups here. It was coming from this direction. So you would assume a lot of this is going to be covered. You have a whole university full of people. I mean, this is looking like a pretty decent sized area that this Robotaxi program is going to start off in. Now it's 10 Model Ys that are starting. That'll scale. I think Elon was saying within a couple of months or something, they're going to have 1,000, and then they'll start going to other areas. But initially, right off the bat here, just this quick little clip, we're learning a ton about where this is potentially going to be functioning. Now, it looked like the Robotaxi was doing a good job obeying the laws. Again, it's a really short clip. It had its turn signal on, waited for pedestrians, and it did look like it was taking an unprotected left. You could see traffic coming from the opposite direction, actually had a green light. So it waited for traffic to clear, was able to make the left turn. Now, this is a 2026 Tesla Model Y that anybody could buy. Now, that doesn't mean that you could go buy it and then have a Robotaxi in Austin quite yet. At least it doesn't seem that that's exactly how it's going to start out. But the point is, this is a vehicle that I own, or you could own, or anyone could just, go buy right now if they wanted. It's showing it has the capability to be driverless in public with no one in the driver's seat, which is very exciting. The questions we have are, what's the software? What software is that exact Model Y running? Now, what we know from Robotaxi Day last year is Tesla worked really hard on custom driverless software and I think maps, from what I heard, for that event they held at Warner Brothers Studios. So is Tesla doing the same approach here for all of Austin? Tesla has shown in the past that as Teslas drive through cities, they do map the area and send that data back to Tesla. So it's almost kind of like an HD map in a way, in that Tesla is getting all this data from the cameras sent back to them and then building a map so that the cars can expect what to encounter next. Now, the good part about their system is if the car has never been in an area, it still can drive there. It may just not behave as nicely. Any issues that a Tesla encounters, it can upload that data back to the mothership, and all of that can be sent out to all the vehicles on the road to look out for that issue in the future. It also doesn't look like this Model Y has any additional cameras or sensors or anything like that. So it was something to look out for. We've seen the test mules from Tesla that put the LiDAR on top just to get some ground truth and to compare data. Luckily here, we're seeing driverless in public on a public space with no additional hardware. That is great news, fully expected, but good to actually see it. Now, how is this going to change the value of Tesla's full self-driving package? You can go to Tesla right now, buy a vehicle, pay $8,000 for full self-driving, or pay $100 a month. Is Tesla going to change that? Are they going to update it? Are they going to say, hey, look, we have these driverless robotaxis in Austin, Texas right now. This is the vehicle you're buying. So we're going to up the price of that FSD because it is so impressive. Now, I think we'd get a warning from Tesla before anything like that happened, and I hope they don't do that. I think they want this technology out there to continue collecting data, to help push sales. I don't think they really want to drive away sales right now, but it's something to think about. And we do unfortunately have to touch on the topic of what's going on in LA. A bunch of Waymos just got destroyed there by the people rioting. Now, those driverless vehicles are very easy to target because number one, all you got to do is walk out in front of it. It's just going to stop for you. Number two, there's either nobody in there, or if they're in there, they're just a passenger and it's not their vehicle. So it's an easy target. People can go there, attack this vehicle with nobody in it, burn it to the ground, and you're not really hurting any individual. Nobody's going to resist you, at least there in the moment. And it's unfortunately something people have shown they'll do time and time again when things are unguarded or unprotected. They can take advantage of that stuff and destroy it. Now, I think in Austin, it's not going to be as big of a concern as it is in other places, but it's still something Tesla's going to have to think about. I mean, you had even Tesla dealerships getting attacked that had people in them and spray painted and stuff. So unfortunately, it's just a reality of life. This is something Tesla is going to have to deal with. And with this initial rollout, only having 10 Model Ys, that may be another reason to have employees follow them. Even if these driverless Robotaxi Model Ys are fully capable, having someone there to either call the police or stop anybody interfering with the vehicles might be a good idea, at least to start, and at least when the number of available robotaxis is so low. And it looks like there's not going to be any kind of event or anything. A lot of people were speculating that Tesla was going to throw some kind of event or make an announcement and say like, hey, here they are, come join us and blah, 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 and get invited. Now, how are we actually going to be able to use these robotaxis if we're in Austin, Texas? As of now, that's an unknown. I am pretty certain that Tesla is going to roll out a separate Robotaxi app And at least for people who don't own a Tesla or don't already have the Tesla app, they will be using this separate Robotaxi app to hail rides. Now, there may be some integration in the Tesla app as well, but I really think we're going to see a standalone app for this service. Obviously, most people on Earth do not own a Tesla, and you don't want to make them download the Tesla app, which is primarily used for controlling your Tesla account in your cars, to do a secondary task of using a Robotaxi. You want this to be as easy as possible for people to just download an app, hop in the Robotaxi, pay a couple of bucks, and get where they're going. So what do you think? Is this really it? Is this real autonomy from Tesla? What do you think about remote workers? I'm sure they are monitoring it. Obviously, it seems like they have a car following it as well, but I'm sure they're also monitoring remotely, which is the same thing that Waymo does and will always do, because you'll always encounter some kind of problem at some point if you drive enough miles. And would you drive in a Tesla Robotaxi right now? Do you trust it? Do you think this is something that's ready to be out there? Personally, I do. I was in the Model Y Robotaxi at the Warner Brothers Studios. Of course, that was a tiny little area and very controlled, but it felt great and the car did a good job. I'm excited to see how this progresses and maybe head down to Austin relatively soon to try this out myself. And every video I gotta do the reminder, a Tesla Robotaxi is any Tesla vehicle capable of driving A to B with nobody in the driver's seat, whereas the Tesla Cybercab is the purpose-built vehicle to just be a Robotaxi that does not have a steering wheel, it does not have pedals, and it only has the 2 doors.